my clock, I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols. Reaming my body, clothing no issue. Bitch, you look sick, you need a tissue. You drop a body, I just might bless you. I'm metrosexual.
What is going on, everyone? It's Wraith here, back with another video. Now in today's video, basically I'm going to be talking about why the new Zone Wars LTM, and hopefully something that will be added into Season 11 and kept in for the rest of Fortnite's career, is probably right now one of the best ways to improve in Fortnite, and also one of the most enjoyable ways to improve in Fortnite. So if you're looking forward to this video, make sure you slap a like button on this video, hit that comment button to let me know what you want to see for a future video, and make sure you subscribe to show me that you want to see more and that you support the channel. But yeah, that's basically it. Make sure you use creator code WraithFN in the item shop, and let's get right into today's video. So the first thing basically as to why I think that Zone Wars is one of the best way to improve in Fortnite is basically, number one, it helps you improve your mechanics a ton. So basically, like I've talked about in previous videos about improving mechanics, sure, if you grind edit courses, if you grind Kovacs, if you grind creative aim maps, whatever the case is, or building whatever, you're going to get better at whatever the mechanic is, correct? But unfortunately, you can do edit courses and aim maps 6 hours a day, but if you don't play the game and use it and actually like practice editing in an actual game scenario where you're fighting someone, or practice your aiming in an actual game scenario where you're fighting someone, unfortunately you're not going to improve as quickly as possible, and you're honestly wasting a little bit of time just grinding Kovacs or just grinding edit courses. You need to make sure that you kind of supplement them and use them in an actual game for them to be worthwhile and worth you practicing. For example, I practice my aim in Kovacs like an hour a day, but if I just played Kovacs for 5 hours a day, it would almost like I wouldn't be improving. If I had played Kovacs for an hour a day and then Storm Wars for an hour, it would be more beneficial to do those 2 hours of practice than just straight 6 hours of Kovacs, right? So basically, it's very, very important to remember that whatever mechanic you're improving at, you need to actually use in a game-like scenario in a fight, and Storm Wars is a really, really good way to help improve that and use it in a fight. So the next reason as to why Zone Wars is really good is basically it helps your decision making, and this is for basically everything in a fight. It helps you learn when to take a fight, when not to take a fight, when to push someone if you need mats, when not to push someone. Again, just simple decision makings, like how to survive, basically just simple stuff. When you should place a launch pad, if you should go for the community launch pad, like so many things. Obviously there's thousands of possibilities and thousands of things you can learn by playing Zone Wars, and that's why it's so good, because like I've always said in videos, if you really want to improve, you just got to basically get as in many fights as possible, because that, like I said, will help your mechanics and it'll help your decision making, because the more times you put yourself in different scenarios, the more comfortable and the more aware you're going to be when that scenario comes in an actual important game like a tournament, a cash cup, or whatever the case is. Another good thing that it helps practice is learning how to play from the low ground and high ground, especially in endgame. I know so many people ask me, okay, how do I learn how to play endgame? Do I do customs, blah blah blah? And yeah, of course, customs, doing tournaments and stuff is all really good, and it'll help you improve. But Zone Wars is a really good way to learn quickly on how to take high ground endgame, how to win from high ground endgame, how to even win from low ground, mid ground. It just helps you basically know when to drop down, when to push up for height if you're going too early and you run out of mats. Make sure that you're not getting shot down, or even when you're playing from the low ground, make sure you have good peaks. Make sure you know where everyone is. Make sure you're rotating early. Just stuff like that. It's just a good way to basically help you learn how to play endgame a little bit more. And again, that just kind of goes back into the scenario I said, where the more you're in that scenario, the better you're going to feel, the more comfortable you're going to feel, and the more of a chance you have to win. Now, kind of like I've been talking about, is basically another big thing it does is just getting into different scenarios. Because like I said, in Fortnite, almost every single fight you take is going to have a somewhat different element to have, basically because you're going to make a different decision every single fight, and someone else is going to make a different decision every fight. Whether it's like one person decides when they ramp over top of you to cut it in half, another person decides to keep building up. For example, if someone's box fighting you, one might try and phase through your wall, while the other one might try and take your wall. One other person might take your roof or your cone, whatever the case is, right? Every fight could be different. So basically, to improve and get more confident, you need to be ready for every single fight, and you need to be ready and prepared to take on anything, whether it's someone breaking through your cone, whether it's someone breaking through a sidewall, whether it's someone phasing into your box, whether it's someone trying to retake height from you or even maintain height from you, right? There's going to be so many different scenarios that you're going to be facing in Fortnite that the more fights you take and the more you fight people, the more confident and the better ability you're going to have to win these fights, because you've already been in that scenario before, or a very close scenario before. Like I said, you can kind of get that by W keying a lot in arena or just normal games or whatever the case is, but Zone Wars is just an even easier way of getting in as many fights as possible and learning how to fight against people. Now, the next reason as to why it's good is this is a big thing people struggle on in Fortnite, and it's third partying, either getting third partied or third partying. And this is a really good platform right now to actually practice your third parties as well as learn how to play against getting third partied. So for example, I know especially in the first 1 or 2 games before people actually leave the Zone Wars, so many people will just W key me off the start, and it is super frustrating. But you never know, like you could be rotating in a tournament or a game and someone could just W key you for no reason because they need mats, they're brain dead, or they need mobility. So you need to be prepared and be ready for that. Also, you never know when you're fighting, especially in these Zone Wars, you'll be fighting someone and someone else will come in through your back or come in through the top and try and get a good shotgun in, try and replace a wall, try and replace a floor, something like that. So you need to be prepared, and you need to make sure that whenever you're getting third partied, you need to be able to get out of that scenario, get high ground, or put yourself in a better spot so you don't get third partied and then you become a third party. And the same thing for becoming a third party. Most of your kills for tournament should either be third parties or endgame kills, so you need to make sure you know how to play third parties. You need to make sure when you're going in, you can easily mop up 1 or even 2 of those kills just from being in a third party. So basically, try different things in the Zone Wars, try third partying, try getting third partied, and just things like that, and will allow you to do way better. So another big thing as to why I think Zone Wars are so important is because they're honestly pretty quick and they're pretty fun to do, and also you can play with a lot of your friends. Like that's why I enjoy doing them sometimes, like solos and stuff, matting up for 10 minutes and then after getting 1 kill and then just go running and somehow dying from a snipe or something like that isn't too enjoyable, and you just wasted 15 minutes rotating blah blah blah. Like it's not very fun, right? Arena has a really long queue, just things like that. It just gets a little bit frustrating. And then there's RNG always. Sometimes you might not find a pump. Sometimes you might not find a shotgun or shield, whatever the case is, right? I like Storm Wars personally because there's almost 0 RNG. Sure, you might get attack shotgun, but at least you have a shotgun and full shield. And you can always just run over someone's dead body or kill them or third party them and get whatever guns they have. But yeah, basically I really like it because it has no RNG and it just makes the game more enjoyable for me. Also, like I said, you can play with your friends, you can squad up, you can make new friends through it, whatever the case is. And also it's very quick. Even if you die, you just wait literally 2 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever the case is, and then you just spawn back and restart and you're back in the game, which is really fun because like I said, it's not too enjoyable playing a game and then after like 15 minutes of matting up, finding weapons, maybe killing 1 or 2 people, you just get sniped or 4 people shoot at you or whatever the case is, right? So it's pretty enjoyable, honestly, what I think. And then the last reason, and this is a big one, is basically how easy it is to actually get in the Zone Wars and maybe fight against some really good players. So for example, if you wanted to learn and fight against better players like maybe 3 or 4 months ago, you'd have to join a Discord, find people to do, make sure they're not like trolls and make sure they're not really bad, and either box fight them or even start your own Zone Wars or find your own Zone Wars that someone else is hosting. And it's just kind of a pain and it takes a while and it's kind of annoying. And nowadays, like I said, it literally takes 5 seconds to join in a Storm Wars. Also, not only that, you can actually fight some really good players in it. I've like fought parallel Kennys, Macon was in one of mine. Like a lot of players, you can actually just end up fighting in Storm Wars, which is kind of good because there can be pro players, they can be really good players, and then you can learn from them and actually fight against better competition. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you slap a like button on it, comment what you want to see for a future video, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Have a good one, everyone. Peace.